I am 93 years old, and the word I've said more than any other in my life isn't love. It isn't help. It is sorry. Sorry for being too much. Sorry for not being enough. Sorry for wanting things. Sorry for existing in a way that made someone else uncomfortable. And I am here to tell you something that took me 93 years to learn. Most of what you are apologizing for doesn't require an apology. It never did. If you are a woman over 60 and you catch yourself saying sorry more than 10 times a day, if you apologize before you even open your mouth, this message is for you. I grew up in a time when girls were trained to apologize the way boys were trained to throw a ball. It was constant reflexive. We said sorry for taking up space, sorry for having opinions, sorry for having opinions, sorry for the weather if it ruined someone's plans. By the time I was 60, I'd apologized my way through an entire life. And I didn't even know I was doing it until my granddaughter looked at me one afternoon and said, "Grandma, why do you say sorry so much?" I didn't have an answer, and that silence was the loudest thing I'd ever heard. So today I am going to tell you the 5 things you need to stop apologizing for after 60. Not because the world will change, but because you will. And that is enough. That is more than enough. Number 1, stop apologizing for saying no. No is a complete sentence. You don't need to explain it. You don't need to justify it. You don't need to wrap it in 3 paragraphs of reasons, so the other person won't be upset. I spent 40 years saying yes to things that made me miserable. Holiday dinners I dreaded. Committees I didn't care about. Favors that cost me sleep, and weekends, and my own sanity. And every time I wanted to say no, I'd feel this wave of guilt, like I was letting someone down, like I was being difficult, like a good woman wouldn't refuse. I was 71 when I finally said no to Thanksgiving at my sister-in-law's house. 71 years old before I gave myself permission to stay home. And do you know what happened? Nothing. The world kept turning. Nobody died. And I had the most peaceful Thanksgiving of my entire life. Just me, a book, and a bowl of soup. Your no is not a weapon. It is a guardrail. And after 60, you've earned every inch of it. I wish someone had told me at 60 what I am telling you now. Every no you speak is a yes to yourself, and you spent enough decades putting yourself last. Number 2, stop apologizing for wanting to be alone. Somewhere along the way, we were told that wanting to be alone means something is wrong with you, that you are depressed, that you are antisocial, that you need to get out more. But after 60 years of raising children, working jobs, managing households, caring for parents, showing up for everyone else, wanting a quiet afternoon isn't a problem. It is a miracle you didn't ask for it sooner. My husband used to worry when I'd sit on the porch for hours without speaking. He'd come out and ask if I was okay, and I'd say, I am better than okay. I am finally hearing myself think. He learned. It took a while, but he learned, and the people who love you will learn too. But only if you stop apologizing for the silence you need. Solitude isn't loneliness. It is the place where you remember who you are without anyone else telling you. And here is what nobody tells you. The people who get angry when you want time alone, they're not worried about you. They're worried about losing access to you. There is a difference, but this next one might sting. because most of us have been apologizing for this one since we were girls. Number 3, stop apologizing for taking up space, for speaking in a meeting, for asking for a bigger portion, for sitting in the aisle seat, for having a body that doesn't look the way magazines told you it should. I apologized for my body my entire life. I said sorry when I bumped into people, sorry when I needed to squeeze past, sorry when I walked too slowly, sorry when I ate dessert, sorry for breathing in a way someone might notice. And I am 93 now, and my body has carried 4 children, survived 2 surgeries, buried a husband, and walked me through 9 decades on this earth. I am done apologizing for it. You were not put here to be small. You were not put here to shrink yourself into a size that makes other people comfortable. You were put here to live, fully, loudly, if you want. Take up the whole bench. Order the whole slice of cake. Laugh as loud as your lungs allow. And don't you dare say sorry for it. You spent decades making yourself smaller so everyone else could be comfortable. That is over now. The table is yours. Stay with me. This one is important. Number 4, stop apologizing for choosing yourself, for leaving a marriage that was killing you slowly, for moving to a new city at 65, for cutting off a sibling who never respected you, for spending your savings on something that made you happy instead of something that made your children comfortable. I left my first husband when I was 62, and my own mother told me I was selfish. My sister stopped speaking to me. My church friends whispered, and do you know what I was? I was alive. For the first time in 34 years, I could feel my own heartbeat without someone else's anger drowning it out. Choosing yourself is not selfish. It is honest. And after 60, honesty is the only currency that matters anymore. The people who call you selfish for saving your own life were never worried about your life. They were worried about their comfort. And that is not the same thing. And here is what nobody tells you. This last one is the one that will set you free, if you let it. Number 5, stop apologizing for not being who you used to be. Your children want the mother who had endless energy. Your friends want the woman who never canceled plans. Your mirror wants the face you had at 40. But that woman is gone, and she left you something better. She left you the wisdom to know what matters, the courage to stop pretending, and the grace to be exactly who you are right now, not who you were, not who anyone wants you to be. I used to apologize for forgetting things, for being slow, for needing a nap at 2 in the afternoon, for not keeping up with conversations the way I did at 50. And then one day I stopped. I just stopped. And I said to myself, I have lived 93 years on this earth. I have earned every wrinkle, every gray hair, every slow afternoon. And I will not say sorry for a single one of them. You are not a lesser version of who you were. You are the fullest version, the one who finally knows the difference between what matters and what never did. I want you to try something tomorrow morning before you leave the house or pick up the phone. I want you to notice every time the word sorry tries to leave your mouth. Just notice it. Don't judge yourself for it. Just pay attention. And then ask yourself, did I actually do something wrong? Or am I just apologizing for being alive? Because most of the time, that is what it is. We're apologizing for existing, for having needs, for being human. And sweetheart, being human is not something you owe an explanation for. I've lost so many years to sorry, years I could have spent laughing, years I could have spent resting, years I could have spent just sitting in silence without feeling guilty about it. I can't get those years back, but you still have yours. And that is why I am telling you this now. Every morning you wake up is another chance to stop shrinking, another chance to take a breath without apologizing for the air you used. Stop saying sorry for your no. Stop saying sorry for your silence. Stop saying sorry for your body, your choices, and your beautiful, imperfect, hard-won self. You owe nobody an explanation for how you live your life. Not at 60, not at 70, not at 93. If this reached you today, leave me a comment. Tell me which one you are going to stop apologizing for. I want to hear it, because saying it out loud is the first step to believing it. And I promise you, on the other side of sorry is a freedom you forgot you were allowed to have. Take care of yourself, sweetheart, and stop apologizing for it.